Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be paying close attention to Nightfall's Phantom Lancer. This is a hero I've had a close eye on for a while now, and the reason why is the aghs was changed. If you don't know what was changed, it was basically changed from his shard, where you would get an upgrade to the Spirit Lance if you bought it with a shard, to now on the Spirit Lance. What it does is it makes it where the Spirit Lance bounces twice, similar to the old shard, so when you throw it at someone, it will also bounce to another hero or another creep, whatever's nearby, and it prioritizes heroes, which is good. It will then spawn illusions and slow them for a bonus amount. This bonus slow isn't that significant as it goes from 35 to 45%, nothing crazy. However, the bonus illusion damage doubles. It doubles. And this is what's incredible. Those illusions create illusions, and at level 15, if you so choose, you get Spirit Lance cooldown, bringing the ability down to a 5-second cooldown. And things can get pretty damn crazy, so let's get into it. Alright, before we get into the main part of the video, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not only posting videos here on YouTube, I also frequently post videos on the website. If you don't know what I'm talking about, almost every single day I'm posting a new video to the gameleap website. We're going to teach you guys in depth about how to get to the next level. So if you want to become absolutely broken and really take your game to the next level, I'm going to be able to help you, because sometimes the guides on YouTube, there's either not enough of them, they're not specific, or they're just tier lists, which I know you guys love, but at the end of the day, the gameleap website is going to help you get to the next level. So click the link down below and sign up. Now, I do want to start this video by saying that Phantom Lancer is a pretty awful laner. It's actually embarrassing how bad of a laner this hero is. It has some of the lowest movement speed in the game at 285, horrible armor for an agility hero, like absolutely pathetic at 3, mediocre base damage at 59, nothing great, nothing terrible, and all of its abilities are pretty underwhelming in the laning stage. So Phantom Lancer truly has nothing going for him in the laning stage. And so the only thing that he has going for him is that Phantom Rush is a pretty decent trading ability if you get ahead, which like never happens, but either way, let's start off in the laning stage. So what I thought was cool about his early laning stage is his willingness to take his W. Typically what you'll see from Phantom Lancers is that they actually skill up their Q and use it to secure range creeps, right, the Spirit Lance, but he actually took his W in an effort to avoid the snakes from Medusa. And this approach from Nightfall to use the W to just avoid some right clicks and maybe dodge the occasional snake is pretty cool. I actually haven't really seen any players do this, which is funny because it makes so much sense. He just pops the doppelganger, and then Medusa for a short period of time doesn't really know which is the real one. So if you happen to be against a ranged hero or a hero that does single target damage, this is a great strategy to be able to contest CS and denies without taking a lot of damage, and that's pretty damn cool. Because once the doppelganger ends, you can see Ace on the Medusa is just pounding into him with snakes and auto attacks, and this is always the problem with Phantom Lancer. You really can't fight back. And so yeah, just to summarize the laning stage before I move on, play defensive. You can try using this W strategy to avoid damage, that's pretty damn cool. For the most part, play defensive, focus on your CS, you don't need to try to own the laning stage. Now, I will say that the only thing PL does well is when you move towards the 6-7 minute mark, when you have a lot of points in your Phantom Rush, your hero mans up very well in the 1.5 seconds where you get 30 bonus agility. I mean, 30 bonus agility is a freaking nuts number, right? 3,000 gold of agility. Ridiculous, but it's only for 1.5 seconds. However, that does mean you trade really well. So when he goes on Medusa here, his first 2 auto attacks will actually do 107 damage. Pretty significant, and also obviously gives you a ton of armor, right? It's like 4 bonus armor, and so the bonus agility should be abused, and you can essentially run at people, hit them a couple times, doppel out, CS, and then rinse repeat. You can do that once per creep wave about. And he's actually able to get a kill here because the Mirana left the lane. So he goes from playing a really crappy laner to getting a kill and having an even lane, which is absolutely incredible and exactly what you should be looking for if you're going to pick this hero. Now, I'm honestly very impressed with his gameplay because he just knows his damage numbers. Like, frankly, I would have never gone on the Medusa here. I would have chipped her, but I didn't know that he could kill her. And yeah, they just chase him down. When you manage to build a lead on this hero, it does actually become quite a menace. Frankly, this rarely happens, and a lot of offlaners completely ignore you with Vanguard or AoE spells, such as Doom, Underlord, Sand King. You know, there's just a billion examples of heroes that can never care about you, but if you happen to do well against ranged heroes such as, you know, Visage or Medusa or Venomancer, you actually can dumpster them on these later timings. And then from there, you're just off into the jungle, and this is where PL becomes very, very happy. He's a happy little boy. You just get to take all the back neutral camps. Now, Is this optimal? No, it's actually not optimal. What is optimal is pushing in the lane creeps, so coming over here, clearing these lane creeps, and then after you take the lane creeps, farming this camp, and then actually making your way back to the lane creeps, then clearing the next wave and taking this camp and this camp. That's best case scenario, but for PL, you don't usually get the best case scenario, so this is a fine backup. For instance, the Void Spirit came into the jungle here because Void Spirit knows Phantom Lancer is not strong. Therefore, he can kind of bully him out of the area until his mid lane rotates over. So now his mid lane is going to rotate over and come help out, which is obviously key, and so he gets a little bit of confidence to farm up the creep wave. And now from there, if you don't have a Void Spirit running at you, then you'll probably get a 10-minute defusal if you have 3 kills, because honestly, an 11-minute defusal is doable with only 1 kill or 1 assist and no deaths. Like, if you manage to not die, you can get an 11-minute or 10-minute defusal, no problem, especially with 3 kills. But yeah, he ends up getting run at for a while here, which is going to slow down his timing, but that's alright. He's now going to push out the lane and continue to farm. The next thing is getting into the mid game. When you have defusal, you want to look for isolated targets. Phantom Lancer can't teamfight for shit at this point in the game because his 1000 HP pool and absolutely no ability to deal with nukes makes him very susceptible to dying. However, what he's fine about is killing people alone. He's actually one of the best heroes in the game at killing people alone due to the fact that his ultimate is obviously very destructive. Hard for people to man up, and if they try to man up, you click juxtapose. So I like that he took the Twin Gate and tried to kill the Enchantress there. Isn't able to get the kill, but you get the gist. It's very good to look for isolated carries, mid laners, supports. You just have to know if they counter you or not. Like, please guys, don't run up to a Leshrac if the guy's having a god game. To be fair, if he's having a bad game, PL actually can kill Leshrac even at this point in the game. It just really depends on how farmed everyone is. But yeah, there's some matchups where you're not going to do that much to them. You can burn their mana, but don't waste your time. Quickly, let's talk about skill build. The skill build on PL is really straightforward. You max out Phantom Rush, then you max out Doppelganger, you take your level 10 talent. This is one of the best level 10 talents in Dota. 2.5 seconds Phantom Rush bonus agility duration is incredible. It starts at 1.5 and way more than doubles, right? It's like a 133% increase or something like that. Ridiculous, 150%. I don't know the exact number, but it's wild, all the way up to 4 seconds. So essentially you can, if you use Phantom Rush correctly, have permanent bonus 40 agility. This makes you farm like a mad lad, which is why if you're playing PL, you want to actually actively refresh your Phantom Rush, right? You should not farm a camp. Like, let's say you're taking Ancients and it's taking a while, because at this point you one-shot the camps in the 4 seconds, but let's say you're taking Ancients, right? You do want to consistently refresh the agility, and if you don't, you will actually farm much slower than otherwise you could have. So yeah, you want to take your level 10 talent, then you max out your W, that's going to allow you to avoid ganks and actually take early game team fights, and finally, you're going to max out your Spirit Lance, and this synergizes with this Diffusal Manta build. There is an Aghs Rush build, which is not bad, and is good if you're trying to recover, as it's good for farming creep waves. But if you're having a solid game like he was, it's way better to go Diffusal and have the threat of killing people. And now at this point in the game, your hero becomes an absolute nightmare. To be fair, I've skipped ahead to the point where he has a Reaver because his courier died, so he didn't have Aghs for a while. But now he has 2600 health, very survivable, 27 armor. But most importantly, his Spirit Lance is a 5-second cooldown, and now bounces as well as does bonus damage on the illusions. And you'll see in this clip here as he runs at the lifestealer a little bit, everyone has to run away from you. No one truly really mans up on this hero well at this point in the game. Obviously there's always a few exceptions in Dota, but now if you manage to get to this point of the game safely, 28 minutes in, I mean, want to talk about good farming. 28 minutes, 4 item timings, guys. If you can hit this in your pubs, I assure you you'll gain MMR. You can't tell me it's impossible to gain MMR if you've never come close to this, all right? But if you can hit this with less than 5 kills, call me impressed, call me impressed. Either way, now what you do is you throw Spirit Lances at creep waves and it will completely wipe out the wave for you. Like, you literally can completely ignore it, and so you just farm everything. If you need to use Manta to clear waves, you can do so, right? He's gonna send Mantas and clear the mid wave in this clip here. right? And those will clear up the wave because the Mantis do indeed summon your ulti, right? Then one Lance absolutely wipes out a wave. So Phantom Lancer goes from kind of this cuck hero in the early game to the most destructive Dota hero imaginable. It clears every wave all the time with no risk if you want to. It's a team fighting menace, as we'll see in a moment from now. They're 7k ahead, definitely in a good spot. They have a super farming Doom as well, so this game is looking absolutely incredible. And now eventually 35 minutes into the game, BetBoom is going to make their final rush up the hill, and trust me, it's really easy to go high ground with Phantom Lancer because you have a heart to sustain, and if anyone actually approaches, you just throw a Q at them. What people will do wrong with this build is they will not prioritize throwing as many Spirit Lances as humanly possible. And that is what you should be doing, as much as you can, because look, one Lance, you know, this Medusa deals with it a little bit, but one Lance creates 2 of these illusions, and optimally you send the illusions at ranged heroes that cannot deal with them, right? I wouldn't recommend just kind of throwing the illusions at some like melee carry that can just run away or kite them very easily. That's a waste. But yeah, as we'll see in this clip here, Doom comes out onto Medusa. They're gonna try to get the job done as she gets Glimmer Cape, but they eventually are able to kill him off. And yeah, the illusions are just gonna keep spawning and spawning and spawning. He decides to focus Thracio here, which I think is fine. Target priority is all about knowing who you can kill, and with no nullifier and the fact that he's against an Enchantress and a Mirana means that he's not really killing these guys, right? One of them can leap and one of them has a billion attack speed reduction. So usually you kill supports like a Mad Lad, like you're a support menace. However, this game, not the case, and therefore it's better for him to go to the Void Spirit in the back line, target down the Lifestealer early into the fight, right? He doesn't want to put a heavy priority. Oh, as they actually find a glimpse onto the Void Spirit, beautiful. And yeah, able to frontline for the team, pop a cheese, back to full, and they're off to the next racks as he cuts the wave with one Lance. And so yeah, and so Phantom Lancer, if you can manage to get off to a good start and understanding his very niche strengths in the laning stage, as few of them as there are, you know, the level 5 timing with treads, if someone gets isolated and they're a ranged hero, you actually can pressure them. Eventually on Diffusal, you can get some solo kills. That's going to be huge for your game. And from there, it's kind of just pushing in as many lane creeps as you can and then clearing the back neutrals, waiting for your timings. Do not get over baited to take team fights, guys. How many team fights did he take this game? Well, to be fair, you haven't watched a full game. I have, but the answer is literally 0. He took 0. Now, would he have taken team fights if Gaming Gladiators gave them the option to do so? I think so, probably around the mid game when he had aghs. But I think up until then, maybe when he had Manta, he would have looked to do so as well. If he could find a good angle, maybe find the Medusa on the side of the fight, as that's the major person that he counters this game. Point being, don't overforce team fights. Be patient. You will get flamed if you're playing this hero properly, okay? The average player does not have a concept of PL's timings, but if you can manage to get to the aghs heart at around minute 30, you will absolutely dumpster the game. 475 CS. He's actually only slightly behind a Medusa, which is saying something. That is a Medusa. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.